Howdy, partners.
Oh.
Welcome to Seeing This. I am the movie Mamba, Michael Ornelas, and I'm going to sit down and listen. Sorry, I fucked that up. Start that over. I forgot I had my quote. I forgot I had my quote, and I forgot what exactly it said. So,
Way to be
howdy,
there.
partner.
Way to be on point.
Well, now you're fucking up my line. That's it. It's all staying in. My job is to sit down and listen, which is what I plan to do after making my speech, which I have no right to make. And this podcast is being recorded on stolen ground. Joining me today is the Feisty Pisces, Erica McMullen.
Rage bait.
Also on the call is the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno.
I mean, you can't judge and hate a place you've never been to, unless you're in Russia.
Well, no, you say that's what they do in Russia, right?
That's what they do in Russia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we are all on top of it today for this wonderful episode where we are reviewing Eddington. As I was telling you guys, I was going to try to do the accent, but that's tough.
Please don't. Yeah.
And how do people, I don't even know what people in New Mexico sound like. Ari Aster lived there, hence this movie. But all those lines were in reference to Eddington, which we are reviewing. We're going to dive right into it as soon as we tell you what we saw this week. What have you seen this week? Adrian, kick us off. I saw you had a couple things you put down on Letterboxd.
Movie bender.
Yeah.
I saw Ballerina, which is like a John Wick. It's exactly like John Wick, but for girls. It was kind of cool. I caught myself weirdly like, wow, I want my 7-year-old daughter to come watch this gruesome killing, like this badass ballerina, like bleeding toes, just killing everybody. But it had only because it had like no sexual undertones. Like there's no
just
like,
violence.
just like a badass girl, like kicking ass, like taking no names, like not worried about love. There's no Prince Charming coming to rescue her. Like, nah, it was all, yo, look, you don't need no man. You're badass. Come handle.
Okay.
It was good. I dug it. And then my next one was The Unholy Trinity. It's like an old Western, but it's just came out, brand new. Pierce Brosnan, Samuel L. Jackson. Really good. Really good. Yeah, I dug it. I like Westerns. It had a traditional Western vibe and feel to it. And the way they uniquely use Pierce Brosnan, who doesn't come off as a cowboy because he's Irish, and he came, yeah. Well, in the movie, he's like an Irish cowboy, and he has an accent, and like, but the way they integrate like that and slavery, like, oh, now you're a Scottish, sheriff, was kind of interesting. It was a dope Western flick. I would check it out for sure.
All right. Sounds like Westerns are the theme here with a kick-ass movie that, had some Western elements, and then Unholy Trinity has some Western elements. Eddington, Western elements, if you can't tell, with my getup today. Erica, what have you seen this week?
I totally am trying to think on what I put down on there, because I've actually watched like quite a few things this week. What did I put down on the list?
Oh dear.
We're
off to a great start with this episode.
Oh, that's
Skull
right.
Island.
Yes, I did watch Kong Skull Island last night. No, sorry, it's been like a long week. There's been quite a few things going on. But yeah, I got to watch Kong Skull Island again, and it's something that I revisit often because I do really enjoy those films. But I love how they can reimagine Kong and then also put him in a new universe where obviously we've seen a bunch of new, like, Kong vs. Godzilla, Kong plus Godzilla, all this kind of stuff. But really enjoy that film. It's kind of one of those brain off. I've been trying to get my crochet back in order since Christmas is coming up. So it's kind of one of those background movies that I could enjoy and just kind of crochet my way through it.
We're going to have to change your name to the millennial grandma here with your crocheting, but that's great. That's great. Everyone's got to have their hobbies.
Yes.
And I'm sure after Jurassic World, we talked about that. We kind of touched on Skull Island. That must have had a little bit of a influence for you to watch that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost kind of like a makeup of like what I think like a monster movie should
Sure.
be. So
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Well, what I saw this week, I saw quite a few things. I'm not going to go through all of them. You can check out our letterbox. Seeing This Pod has everything there. But one movie I saw for the first time was Melancholia. This is a Lars
wow.
von Trier film. Yeah. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I have seen
You
that one
have.
before. Mhm.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Yeah. So first time watching it, we've talked about Antichrist, which I have back here, which is the first film I saw of his, which is fucking dark as hell. We've talked about it a little bit
Yeah.
before. Um, but Melancholia, like, I understand how it's his kind of movie, like very visual, leans very much on like
Definitely.
the
Yeah.
cinematic effect
Mhm.
of his films. The story is very metaphorical. And it's kind of about, you know, stress, anxiety, depression, melancholy, all these things when the world's about to end.
Yeah.
So real interesting movie. I would say check it out. It's, if you like a weird movie. Adrian, I don't know if it's your speed because you sometimes weird movies turn you off. But it has an
See
incredible
him
cast.
enjoying
Kirsten
this
Dunst,
one.
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. So yeah, Melancholia. Check that out. Let's dive right into Eddington.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
I know, I've seen this. I know this.
This movie is something. It is something. Let's go to Adrian and give us guys, it's fucking hot. I don't know if I can do this.
Oh,
Sweating.
come on.
I'm sweating, dude. I got this light
We
on
should
me.
have
I
had
got this
like a time
wool ass
on
sweater.
how long we thought you were gonna wear
We
that
should have
Some
taken
microphone.
bets.
Some
We should
bets.
have
All
taken
right,
bets.
man. Fuck
That should
y'all.
have been our draft order at the end. Drafting stock should have been.
If I keep it on, I go first. Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
sure.
All right,
Touche.
Erica, you agree to these
I'll
No,
allow
terms?
what?
See. All right, well, we'll see. I'll try to prolong a little longer for the bit in case we get a good clip out of this. Okay, Letterboxd. Adrian, tell us about it.
All right, Eddington, 2025, directed by Ari Aster. Ari Aster.
Mm.
Hindsight is 2020. In May of 2020, a standoff between a small-town sheriff and mayor sparks a powder keg as neighbor is pitted against neighbor in Eddington, New Mexico.
Eddington, New Mexico. Thankfully, not a real place, as we looked into it here, but definitely
I
don't want
totally
to be
thought it
there.
was a real place. Like, that's why my initial quote of The Simpsons, like, Dad, you can't just hate a place when you never been to. Like, oh yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
do in Russia.
Yeah.
That sparked it because I was like, man, I don't want to go to this place. Like, forget, I will drive through this little POS town.
Well, I mean, we can get into it here shortly, but I think it's kind of a micro representation of what we as Americans were going to at some scale, no matter where you were, right? But before we get to that, what's your relationship with Ari Aster? I know, Erica, you've seen a couple, right? Or you've seen all of
Yeah.
them. I don't recall.
I think there might be a few that I haven't seen.
So we have Hereditary, we have Midsommar, Beau is Afraid, and now Eddington.
4.
So how many have you seen, Erica? What have you seen? Tell me.
Oh, I thought you were waiting for Adrian. Yeah, I've seen all of them. Definitely enjoy him. I want to say probably Midsommar is my favorite.
Yeah.
I kind of go between that and Hereditary. Hereditary for me, I definitely have to be in a certain mindset to watch. Whereas like Midsummer can kind of gets a pass every now and then. But yeah, I typically enjoy his films. Definitely a character, definitely has like that really like that outside perspective of like what is really happening, and then there's like all of the little details inside that he really kind of gets and are all essentially part of the same story. And same thing happened here. Very on brand.
Sure. Yeah. I think you've referenced him before as a little freak, and you're a
Yeah.
fan of that. So, yeah, he's definitely in a positive way, complimentary way. Adrian, I think this is your first Ari Aster movie, if I recall, right?
I haven't seen any of them. Not that I didn't like it. It's just like the town was insane. Talk about it in spoilers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just asking your relationship with Ari Aster at this point, right?
Yeah,
So no
I don't have
relation.
one.
Your first one.
No.
Like Erica, I've seen them all. I think I can do this now that I've taken my hat off. I think Ari Aster's movies are very unique. I think he's what we need in Hollywood now, meaning like a creative, original voice and vision. It's not like IP. They're all, his stories that he's come up with. He's a writer director. He also produces a few movies. So I love Ari Aster. I was looking forward to this one. I'm with you, Erica, as far as like favorite. I think it has to go to Hereditary because it was his first, and like, when you watch it, it's still works. It's still impactful. And so is Midsummer, but it's just the pacing's a little different. I rewatched both of those getting ready for this. They're still great. At some point, Adrian, I'd love to know what you think about those. Like,
I watch Hereditary first.
yeah. I mean, might as well watch them in chronological order, like how they're released. But man, it's fucking good. It's fucking good. We got a category for our anniversary episodes named after it. So you got to check it out at
Yeah.
some point and report back.
All right, I have to check it out.
Yeah, you're gonna be so mad, but it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna like hate to love it or love to hate it. One of the two.
I like Toni Collette, so we'll check it out.
This
You know
is,
what?
I'd argue, her best role.
Yeah, 100%. I think that she should have won an award for this role.
100%. I agree. Eddington, Adrian, since this is your first Ari Aster movie, what'd you think? Did you like it? What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I did like it. I like the pace of it. Very predictable. You could kind of like feel. And when I say predictable, not necessarily like the actual story, but like the pace. Like, okay, something's gonna happen here. Something's gonna happen in this one. Like something's happening there. Something of significance is gonna occur. Like, be paying attention. And that was cool. I like the camera work they were doing with some of the isolation videos where like he's just looking down every angle of the street. That
Like his
camera
point of
work
view.
was that camera work was really cool and on point. I actually really enjoyed the movie. The storyline just is so rough, and it's just, I guess it's a little too soon for me because I was upset. I was like frustrated. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. And this, I think on my Letterboxd review, it was something like the perfect storm of inhumanity. Just it was terrible.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a real place, so I was legit like, I don't
There's
ever want to go there.
There's a documentary.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's you're not alone in that. Kind of the buzz around this movie is very polarizing. Either people like really loved it, like calling this his masterpiece, whereas there's people that don't want to revisit 5 years ago and feel like it's, like you said, too soon. Erica, what'd you think?
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna jump right into that same line of thinking, is that this movie is absolutely brilliant if it were to maybe wait another 5 years to come out. Because I'm kind of in the same boat. Not that I was in a place where these issues were really happening so much. Living in the PNW really gives a lot of people some leeway when you're like out in spaces, essentially because there's so many like trails you can be on and be outside, so you're not doom scrolling as we see some of these people doing throughout the film. But yeah, it did actually feel for me a little bit too soon for us to be revisiting the chaos of this.
Well, but I guess so. What you're implying is that we need to wait a decade before we revisit a moment in history, right?
No, I think we just need to be healed
So
before.
because we haven't healed yet.
Yeah, there's been no closure because it's still
We're in it.
like a thing that's still like going on. Like you're still, like, we're still not being protected. We're still a victim in all this. We're still like propaganda, misinformation, like they're using the internet against us is the problem still, right?
I mean, I would argue that this film needs a trigger warning for some people. 100%.
You love your
No,
trigger warnings.
No, seriously,
It's been a while.
because
We haven't had an
yeah,
Erica trigger warning in a while. Yeah.
trigger warning. If you had a rough 2020 and we're not in a safe space, like this might be a movie that's maybe to be watched in the comfort of your own home, maybe not in the movie theater. Which sucks because we always want to
Interesting.
encourage.
Why that? Do you feel it's easier to process like triggers at home versus in theater? Is like
Oh,
why at home?
absolutely. It's definitely easier to process triggers when you're in a safe space. And sometimes the movie theater is not a safe space, especially if you're going into this movie not knowing anything like I did, because I didn't want to know anything about this. I think I watched like one trailer, and that was like the first teaser that came out. But not knowing and going into it, I definitely left the theater with some heavy feelings.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that happens in this movie, but before I share my thoughts, I think I'll bring in my special guest for you guys, who really summarizes kind of the themes of this movie and kind of what this movie shares. You guys may be familiar with this character. We've used him before, but a different rendition, and that is the Joker from The Dark Knight. Here he will explain my thoughts on Eddington.
See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
What a great fucking movie, first of all. Second of all, this movie is about being pushed to madness from various aspects within this community. People, like Adrian said, misinformation, going through unprecedented times, right? You know, there's a part, you know, this movie is essentially COVID times and kind of the policies that were enforced and lack thereof enforced, and people in power pushing back against the use of masks, for example, or the distance we had to have. These different things are all being examined here. And what I think
currently,
is
that's why I'm saying, like, it's not really solved, right? Nobody's really healed from that because we have no answer. Like, was it all a lie and we shouldn't have been wearing masks? It made no difference because how they were going to treat people didn't matter. They knew. Was it just this big conspiracy, or, you know, were we legit not taking care of proper protocols? Like, you guys should have been putting on masks and staying away.
I'd say this. I enjoyed the film. I watched it twice. The first time, like with movies like this, I want to try to see twice. So I did that with Superman, also a bit different. But the second time I sit down with it and really like take notes, I legit have my notebook here and fucking jotting down what I see. And with this one, the first time, to be honest, I was on a bit of a emotional high because I just opened an email where, have you seen this? We're coming to Toronto, baby. Toronto Film Festival. Seeing this is media accredited. Got our press pass. Well, I do. I'll be representing Seeing This in Toronto. So keep an eye open and subscribe, so then you make sure to get all that when that comes in September. But nonetheless, I was on that high right before I watched this movie. So my brain was kind of already racing to then be brought down to ground and watch this. And I just think that upon second viewing, there's certain things that I didn't like more around the story, kind of what you're talking about, Adrian, like the plot points of certain characters and how certain characters were used. And I think overall, it's pretty ballsy for Ari to make this movie. Like nobody really makes contemporary movies anymore, like especially post-COVID, right? Because there's so many kind of ways you have to navigate a standard story, where Ari's like, you know what, I'm going to double click into this time and we're just going to show the anxieties people had. It's almost like a satire. It's almost like a bit of a parody. Again,
like, there's no hero, there's no villain. Like, you can't really tell like who's who. It's weird.
Such as life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, such as a reflection of life. So I think with that said, we can jump into spoilers so we can talk freely. But before we do that, I want to mix things up and do our Commodus Scale first, so then we can see where we end up landing, and then we can explain a little bit more in spoilers. So our Commodus Scale. Erica, let's go with you first. Up, down, or even? What are you giving Eddington? That's a thumbs up for you listeners. The iPhone agrees as
Oh
well.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the iPhone agrees. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give this a thumbs up. With an asterisk, obviously, just to make sure that people understand what kind of movie it is, you know?
To your point, I think this is one like years will go by, maybe a decade or two, and we'll look back at this and consider it a masterpiece.
I think people are gonna appreciate it a lot more down the road.
Yes, it's going to age well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the
hopefully.
Lord knows where we'll be in another 5 years. Adrian, where are you going? Up, down, or even?
I'm gonna go up.
Up. Awesome.
I enjoyed it. It was a little roller coaster. Um, like I said, you don't really know who the villain or the hero is. It's not like you got people that you're rooting for, because you're just like kind of laughing at the whole situation. Um, so yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. Thumbs up.
Awesome. Yeah. My first viewing, I was at a 3.5. Second viewing, I was at a 4 on Letterboxd. So I'm going up also. 3 thumbs up for this. Just one more point to what you said, Adrian, about not knowing the hero or the villain. I think it does a great job of each character has valid points. Each character is absolutely batshit crazy in their own way. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a balance of like, Ari's not saying this is the right way. Like, we probably all had thoughts that each character had. I don't know about the houseless guy in this movie, but we'll get into that with spoilers. Let's dive into spoilers with that.
Spoiler alert.
So yeah, the houseless guy opens up this movie, right? And just off the bat, I think this might be the best version or the best portrayal of what like a real houseless person that has mental health issues or drug issues or whatever the case sounds like out in the streets.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, it sounded like alcohol. It didn't sound like drugs because he was tasting all the alcohols and like they all taste the same. Like I don't know. I was paying attention to him. Like I don't know. I often do. Even in the real world, like I'll pay attention to people that are out on the streets.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was, like you said, a really good portrayal of what somebody, especially in like what you would think a New Mexico town that is unpopulated, would kind of be going through, like mentally where he was at. For sure, it
Yeah.
was a really good portrayal.
And he plays a relatively important character just as far as like plot points as things go forward. But as you mentioned, Adrian, this is a sheriff going to battle with the mayor who's trying to get reelected, played by Pedro Pascal, the mayor. Joaquin Phoenix is Sheriff Joe. And we see the evolution of Sheriff Joe from where he stands on these mask mandates. He doesn't want to wear a mask. The Pueblo cop is like, hey, but you got to wear a mask. Like, there's a mandate out now. And Sheriff Joe is like, he doesn't even have it over his nose, which
And he's
Lord
in his own
knows,
police car, which give him
which,
a break. He's by himself in his police car. It's not like he's out and about. And they're
these
trying
are
to
all
stop
like,
him and pull up on him. Like,
and
you
these
gotta
are
put
all
your
like
mask on.
valid thoughts that I'm sure a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
us
yes.
had during the pandemic. Like, you go to the grocery store and you see like usually people that are a little bit older in age, but not always, like just have their mask like right above their lip or like, so yeah. And the fact that these policies came in before we really knew everything or like understood the virus, I think also is why there was a lot of pushback. Erica, what did you think about this town, the dynamic of going with Pedro Pascal? And there's already tension. Like, you can tell there's tension before we really understand why. What do you
Yeah,
think
I
of all that?
mean, definitely, like you said, definitely a lot of tension, and I love how it, like, slowly unravels, like, bit by bit, like, him and Luis's, history and how you kinda, like, see things happen and
Sorry. You said Luis's. Who's Luis? Oh, so Luis is his wife. Is
Yeah.
that who you're referring to? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so,
Sorry.
like
So how
yeah.
him and his wife's relationship. Okay.
Yeah, there's just a relationship, like, the whole dynamic the tension throughout the film, not even just these two characters, like kind of like you were saying, Adrian, like you kind of knew when things were going to happen because the tension was just built up so perfectly that it was like, all right, perfect. I'm ready and waiting for a snap. And so I think that's why this film does so well, is because the tension between all of the characters throughout all of the different scenes that we get. Because like we said, a lot goes on in this film. Like a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot of fucking shit that
Yeah.
happens in
It
this.
helps when Emma Stone is the actress and she's just like sitting there and just dissecting the scene with her eyes without like with like 3 words she killed the whole scene, and I was like, damn, she's gangster. She is
That's
gangster.
interesting because I thought she was very underutilized. Like this was a very muted role for her. Like in less than halfway through the movie, she's pretty much removed from the movie until the very end.
Kind of on purpose.
She's a huge impact. Yeah, absolutely. And then at
Yeah.
the end when we're in spoilers, right?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
at the end to showing her sitting there pregnant with no words is a bombshell. Like that's really what made the movie, because I'm like laughing at him in my head like that's what you get for
Well,
Yeah.
then you have to
you
think
know.
about all of that time that she is missing from the movie, and then that's how she's revealed. That's what I mean, like that tension, like really built up to where, like, despite her not having, like you said, being a more muted character, despite all of that, we still got a very, very pleasant kind of revenge at the end from her. I don't know.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
she was just
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
disgusted the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't really like use disgusted like with words, like
Well,
just her
I mean, the
look
movie,
was enough.
the movie kind of opens up with Joe, Joaquin Phoenix's character, the sheriff, watching a YouTube video about like how do you talk to your partner about wanting a kid even if they don't want a kid, and like it's this whole dynamic of her having some kind of history, which we find out she was
Yeah.
abused. Her mom and Sheriff Joe, her husband, think it is Ted, Pedro Pascal's character,
The
the mayor,
mayor,
that he
because they
impregnated her
dated
at 16,
previously.
whatever,
Right.
whatever. And that tension from the beginning when they first talk, and he comes out, Joaquin Phoenix's character, the sheriff, comes out with this phone, I'm recording this, and they start having the conversation, and like there's this tension and you feel it, like there's something
Mhm.
unsaid, which we find out later. So the fact that she's pregnant in the end is
Yeah.
another element of that, like karma
Yeah.
to the sheriff. You know what I mean? One thing I thought that was really interesting too is how they kind of play with the native land. How like there's a big discussion of the border between the Pueblo and Sevilla County, and like the sheriff responsible for the county, the Pueblo, who
Mhm.
essentially the police on that force are like native.
They're like the Morongo tribe, they're like they have their
So
own like
taking these,
village. What is it? Yamava tribe. They have like their own village above the
a
casino and
lot
stuff.
to
Like,
a
so
lot,
they'll
yeah.
have their own police force and stuff like that. They're their own sovereign village and
Sure.
community, right?
And
So
so yeah,
police have no jurisdiction over there.
and so much of what happens in the movie is like happening on both sides of this land. It's like this our jurisdiction is not, and then to the point where big tech is also in the background trying to move into this land.
Well, and it's kind of crazy though, because like that's essentially what the entire film is about, is like getting that built. And like all of this other shit is happening because that's what the end goal is, which is like kind of crazy to think about. You know what I mean? When we get into like the conspiracy theory of things, and like we said, doom scrolling, looking at video, like, being on TikTok and looking at videos of not professionals telling you things.
Yeah,
That's
It's
how,
targeted.
just
it's
things
targeted
spiral
through the
out of
algorithm. Yep.
control. It's so easy.
And to your point again, Adrian, or both your points, like, and that's still happening. Like, that's not, if anything, it's getting worse, and it really takes you to unplug to like get away from that. And like, there's times I want to do it, but we got to like promote the podcast, or we got to be able to like interact. It's about being social. It's about reaching people out there, as they say in
Yeah.
Andor, I'll say it again. I'm condemned to use the weapons of my enemy. You know what I mean? But this is what it's done. And we see that in Eddington, because it ultimately drives Sheriff Joe to the point to run for mayor, make ads and campaigns that are like, okay, what can we do to win the mayoral race? And it gets to the point where he pretty much does a video. He starts doing videos, right, and posting them online about his thoughts or whatever. A lot of videos we've probably seen from
But they were not
congressmen.
educated videos, right? They were not practiced videos. They were not edited. He was like just rushed, like, hey, just post it. Like,
And
no,
he's
you shouldn't do that. No, don't post that one.
And this movie is very much about regurgitating information that's not researched and pumping it out. He does it. The little white boy, or actually all the protesters,
All the kids do it.
all the white protesters that are there for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So I loved that whole part of it because it just took me to Latinx. Like that's just something that's driven me insane, like bonkers. Like a bunch of people who don't even understand the language, like try to make some up. Like no, it doesn't work that way. It's supposed to be masculine and feminine. Like that's how you distinguish it.
But it's essentially having like a white voice speak on something that's
That
not
they don't know nothing
completely or
about.
fully understood
Yes.
from them, right?
Yes.
And
And I
Ari
think
Aster,
one of her lines is even like, "I know I'm a hypocrite," and she's like yelling at the black kid, like, "Why don't you care?" You're like,
that's the cop. It's the black cop,
yeah,
Michael.
yeah.
She's like, you're a cop. Like you're a cop. You should be on our side. You shouldn't be with them.
That poor man threw
And
the
then he
ringer
gets
the whole freaking movie.
Yeah.
the only black guy, and they freaking.
It was a tough beat for him.
But
because he ended.
That's like they're on the nose. I think he did a really good job of this and like hitting everything very on the nose of how chaotic it was during that time.
Yeah. He's in real life. He's going through some tough stuff too. Maybe deserving. Just before we jumped on, I read that he's being alleged of rape in London. I think his name's Michael Ward. I don't want to get that wrong. Actually, wait. Let me make sure.
You better make sure
his name right. No, I mean I saw that it was reported. Yeah, Michael Ward is his name, and he plays Michael. But
Okay, well, none of us are gonna draft him.
I almost, what? It crossed my mind. Do I mention this during the podcast or wait for one of you to take him? That's fucked up. Anyways, long story short, we get to this point where like he is being accused of like police brutality because he threw the houseless guy out of the bar and everyone's recording it. Everything he does is being recorded. Everything anyone does is being recorded.
Which he got beat up in that. And the thing is,
he ended up getting beat up and coughed on.
Yeah. But it was recorded by the mayor. Like I don't know if you caught that. But
son, the mayor's son.
Well, the mayor's son wasn't in the meeting. It was recorded.
He's outside the door.
Outside
and then
on the window? Okay.
Yeah, he's outside, and then when he passes him, he's like, "Oh, did you get your little Instagram?" He tells the kid that, So that's the mayor's son. There's more of that. There's more of like secondhand, point of view, and then twisting what happens within a few seconds of a clip, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they do that at the same time of the whole George Floyd getting murdered, and then the rage that you're seeing out in the streets coinciding with that little second of a clip plays the whole he's playing both sides of the fence. Just like with the mask mandate, he was playing both sides of the fence, whether you wanted to wear the mask, you agreed to it, or you were like, this is ridiculous. If you can smell a fart through a mask, what do you think COVID is going to do? You know what I mean? Like both sides of the fence. And that's what Ari Aster's doing the entire time, playing both sides of every fence, of every point of contention. It's wonderful. And then the whole like scene where he loses his mind and actually that goes on a killing spree, like that
the movie really flips there, right? So
that was a work of genius how he made that work.
The mayor's kid, I believe his name was Eric, continues to like do little jabs about this history that the sheriff's wife has with the mayor,
his dad.
Garcia, his dad. It's like, oh, what about your wife? What about your whore wife? Or what did she do with my dad? Shit like that. And finally, he snaps and loses it. He goes to confront the mayor after he leads a recording out to the press or out to the socials that says, hey, this guy raped my wife when she was 16. Doesn't consult her about it like he's going to say it, and puts it out there. which leads to everything. She leaves with Austin Butler's character Vernon, who kind of represents like the online free your mind, like these people are all like, he comes from like a pedophile ring that his dad sold him into, but he's the only one that escaped. Like that whole storyline I got a little lost on the first time. I had to really
He's like
pay.
the pest.
I hated his
What do
You
storyline.
remember that
mean?
John Leguizamo Pest movie?
I don't remember pedophilia in it.
No, but like it's just a bunch of rich like elitists trying to do a hunt, and they want to hunt like humans, and so
I
they
love
try to get all these humans together and try to
I
hunt.
love that
and
you could have gone with like Hunger Game or like all these things, like the pest.
the pest. Yeah,
Hunting
absolutely.
kids. Yeah, like that whole bit with Austin Butler was really weird. Like I think its only real purpose was to highlight that there are clearly pedophiles in government. Some may say the highest office. It could be speaking to that. But it's also weird because the way they tell the story is like, do we believe him? You're the only like the sheriff is speaking like you're the only one that got out. You're like, that's hard to believe. That's unbelievable. And then it comes full circle at the end where he's now with Louise, the wife, and
The
she's
ex-wife,
pregnant.
yeah.
She's pregnant,
Yeah.
right?
All in the movie is really just to draw, like really the disgust. You see it out of Emma Stone's character right away. Like she despises her husband, and this dude just comes in to free her mind, and she just needed an escape, and she was gonna leave
Like a
that dude
cult
no matter
leader.
what.
I mean, he's a bit of a cult
Essentially,
leader.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where, kind of like what you're saying, Michael, like you don't really know if that story's true or if he's just making it up, as a cult leader
Okay,
would,
so
make up the story.
on that note, because it wasn't about his particular story, but hers was she. So it wasn't the mayor, because she comes out and says like that I rebuke my
It was
son, my
somebody.
husband. Her dad? Is that the notion that you guys got? Because that was the notion I got when he asks her,
Interesting.
and he's like in bed, and he rolls over and he's like, I'm only gonna ask you this one time. I'll never ask you again. And the first name he mentioned was it your father? And she just stays quiet. And then he says, it was Ted, wasn't it? You know what? It was Ted. And then he rolls over and he like lays down and he was like, it was Ted.
It's fascinating. That's a fascinating observation, Adrian, because her dad was the sheriff.
The sheriff before
right?
him.
And they've got
Yes.
like a bit of a picture dedication to him. And she has to live in this house under that guise. So if that's true, I mean, that could kind of speak
That would
volumes to
play
like
a
her
lot into the
dynamic
disgust that she has for him, for sure.
for him as the sheriff. And
Yeah.
yeah. It's really, really weird dynamics in that household because her mom lives there as well, who tends to side with Sheriff Joe throughout.
But hates him.
The
And
mom
like
hates
disrespects him. Yeah, she like disrespects him.
But shout out to her, Deirdre O'Connell. She is an incredible actress. When I was watching, I'm like, where the fuck do I know her from? Where do I know her from? And she plays she's the Penguin's mom. Like if you're watching the HBO show The Penguin from Batman, she plays the mom and does an incredible job there. She's
Eternal
also
Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and she's just an incredible actress in everything I've seen. So and she does great in this too. Like shout out to
St.
her.
Vincent. That was a good one.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, really weird dynamic there. But to get to the point where he goes to interrupt a noise disturbance, which is during the day, because Luis, Emma Stone, comes out and says, these allegations my husband said are a lie. Ted Garcia did not do this. I was abused, but it wasn't Ted Garcia, right? So now Ted's celebrating and they're having this party. Sheriff shows up. Katy Perry's firework is fucking blasting. And he comes in to shut it down. And he gets slapped twice by Ted Garcia. Slaps him twice, and that's the breaking point. Now we're off to the races. He's gone. Goes on. Go ahead.
More highlight of like, in what world can you just walk into somebody's house and unplug their speaker? Like, I don't care if you're the police. I don't care who you are. You're not walking in my door, walking through all the way in my backyard to unplug a speaker. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you would have got more than a slap.
Where's your warrant? Well,
Yeah,
not well. I
for
mean,
sure.
so that and this guy just said that you're a rapist, and not only that, a pedophile because it would have been someone underage. Like like this guy's accusing you as mayor of all this shit.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
I've been
I
mad as the mayor. As the mayor, I wouldn't have even been mad at him. I would have walked by the 20 people he walked by to be like, none of you fools thought it was a good idea to be like, hey man, you shouldn't be here.
I'd like
Yo,
stop him.
yo, you can't. What are you doing walking by that gate?
If you're invited to
Yeah.
the cookout, you gotta throw down.
Yeah. And again, in the background, there's this whole dynamic of like the mayor's son, Eric, flirting with the white girl that's kind of like the main Black Lives Matter protester and is like all the white guilt and like just saying like
That
it's
was
fucking
so
funny.
perfect. That was so good. Like how they portrayed both sides of that fence.
Sure.
How it was, Black Lives Matter, but there was no Black lives in the town except for the
Yeah,
one that
there's a couple.
wasn't a
There
word
was a
about it,
couple.
right?
Yeah, no
And
lying
and,
from
and
the
this is all
non-cop.
being done by like two white girls essentially leading the pack unwittingly
Yeah.
because these other morons are just trying to find a way to like get close to her, and so she likes BLM, so they're gonna get involved with BLM and try to be super active, and it's just like they were like making a bet with each other on who could get the girl,
Pretty
and
much.
it was
Yeah.
pretty much just one upping each other on why they appreciate BLM. And I think at one point he's explaining it to his dad. The white kid is explaining it
Yeah.
to his dad, and
His
his dad looks
name's
at him.
Brian. Yeah.
Yeah. His dad looks at him and he's like, "Are you fucking retarded? Like you're
Yeah.
white."
Yeah. We're right.
Perfect.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
white. Yeah.
yeah. Like what? Like
Yeah.
it was spot on. So the
Well,
way he plays both sides.
we'll allow your use of the R word because that is what they use in the movie. So you're just quoting it. Just want to clarify there. But yeah, he goes on his killing spree. He killed Sheriff Joe, snipes Ted Garcia while he's at home. Boom, right through the chest. What a shot. what a shot. And then he waits for the kid to come out, takes him out. Erica, did you expect that to happen? Like I felt that I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but maybe
I didn't think he was
I'm
also
on
gonna
an island.
kill the son.
The kid.
I was not expecting that part. When you kind of
I kind
see
of
him
was. The kid
snap,
was more of the asshole.
you knew he was gonna go on a spree, but I didn't think he was that far gone.
Yeah. So he takes both of them out and tries to hide it, and this comes after, like right after he gets slapped, he drives by the bar that the mayor, I guess, owns or is running his meetings out of or whatever.
Yeah.
And the houseless guy is in there just drinking all the drinks, and you feel the tension of the sheriff just watching him. Boom, takes him out with a couple shots. And that's where it starts. Then he goes and snipes the mayor, takes out the kid, and trying to hide all of this. But the Pueblo police is like, yo, I found some shells on my side of the land. You know what I mean? And then he's trying to put this on the black cop, Michael. He's trying to frame him. He has the gun in his car. Hey, we got a search. Hey, why is this picture of the girl whose purse was found on the location, the white girl we were talking about, on your phone? And they try to frame him.
That was messed up, man. That was messed
very
up.
messed
The
up.
only black guy in the city, and
setting him up.
he was already talking to him like, "Hey, when I get mayor, you're gonna be promoted to what? To sergeant?" Like, yeah, sure, sergeant. Oh man, he kept getting the shaft.
And then it really gets wild when we see like essentially Antifa come on their private plane, like ready to fuck shit up, and they come after him. They free Michael from the jail, use him as a trap to then lure out the cops. I love that this whole the whole sheriff department is like 3 people.
3 guys.
Yeah.
Like, when they go to the riot, it's like 3 of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it turns out into a whole out war, right? They're trying to shoot him. He goes into a gun shop, comes out with a big old automatic, trying to defend himself. Takes out
the Pueblo cop.
Fucked up,
man.
Takes out the Pueblo cop. Meanwhile, Michael's like burned. We don't know what happened to him. The other sheriff guy, which is his name, blown to smithereens. And then
he takes his gun out of his arm. His arm like rips off his body in the explosion, and it's just laying there. And instead of going to like help anybody, he goes straight to grab the gun out of his arm. Oh, I was like, oh, this guy's a real dirtball.
And then the last real action scene is this lone Antifa, all in black, running. He can't change his gun. He's like, stop. No ammo. Boom! Knife right to the dome. Like a couple stabs right to the dome, which he survives. He goes paralyzed. He's now
quadriplegic, yeah.
and he's the mayor because Ted Garcia died.
Mhm.
But
They
one thing
blame
that
all of it on Antifa, so
they blame
he
it on
gets
Antifa.
lucky. Yeah.
And the kid, Brian, the white kid, this whole time records it happened. And he comes and he kills the Antifa guy, so he becomes the
A
hero.
hero.
And it's like, holy shit, we're living through we've lived through this bullshit. It's so wild. It's so wild. But I was just gonna say the thing I thought that was really poetic is after Joe kills Ted, he gives a press conference and he's like, whoever did this, you're gonna find out what real justice is in Sevilla County. And by the end, everything that happens to him is like, fuck yeah, like there it is.
Yeah.
There's that justice, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So I thought by the end of it, like, especially talking it out with you guys, it makes a lot more sense. Erica, I don't know, maybe me and Adrian have just been talking, but you're quiet on this one.
No, I felt like
are we
I felt like
mansplain on this episode?
I felt like I was talking so much at the beginning of the episode.
No. I think me and Adrian just got really passionate about certain moments. So
Yeah, for sure.
Mean,
maybe we
I
took
like
over.
I said, it got a thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed this film. Like we said, the tension throughout the whole film was good. I thought the action sequence were good. I know a lot of people are tired of Pedro Pascal, but like I thought he did a good job. I thought Joaquin, I
Yeah.
am always, not that I'm stunned by Joaquin Phoenix, but I'm always having a good time whenever he's in the film. Um,
Yeah.
he's another one where you're gonna get kind of a weird performance, but I appreciate that about him and that he's consistently weird, But no, I agree with everything that you guys said. I really, really enjoyed it. I actually am gonna take back what I said about this being too soon, because you said something,
All
and
right.
for me now it's like, okay, well, maybe it's just like a good reminder that this shit did happen. This is how completely chaotic it can get and how quickly that could happen, so
I mean, you think of like any movie that's come out since 2020. I can't think of a single movie that like marks the beginning of this decade, which clearly came as like a new era of life. Like things definitely changed after that. So I think we need to have some kind of tangible thing that we can see and observe and be like, oh yeah, that did happen. Where I agree. I understand some people don't want to relive that. It could be triggering. It could be, I mean, still going through aspects of it as we speak. But I think we need it, so it'll age well with time. And everyone was great. I agree. Austin Butler, really weird. Like he was fine with his performance, but like
I just don't care for him at all.
Really, you don't like him?
I don't really, as an actor, just I'm not really impressed by him.
Wow.
Very bland. He's like another Glenn Powell to me.
Woo! Taking shots, bringing up our favorite guy to shit on, Glenn Powell.
Might be a hot take, but I just, the whole, I mean,
That's fair. I mean,
I
listen.
guess his character served some purpose.
Sure. Well, listen, we're running long. We're trying to cut things shorter, but at the same time, we want to make sure we cover the shit and make sure that we don't miss anything. Double features. Let's do that. Adrian, what would you pair with Eddington and why?
So a weird movie. It's called Arizona. It came out in 2018, directed by Jonathan Watson. Best way to describe it is similar murderous rampage, but over real estate in a town in Arizona that just was super speculative, where people were buying into it and then making much money, and it's the last two people left trying to make the rest of the money of a dying town. And it's a unique comedy, kind of like Eddington. Similar type way they tackle certain scenarios of conversation, like how people meet, how people talk to each other, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
For sure.
I open it up and I see Danny McBride, the big
Yes.
face on the cover. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
okay. Adrian would pick this movie.
And it's
But
not what you think.
yeah, that's fair.
With Danny McBride. I mean, that's his character. Still crazy Danny McBride, full on character. But the storyline is good and it's spot on.
Excellent. That's why you're on the pod, Adrian, to get us these
Yeah.
deep cuts that people probably missed. But it says it takes place during the 2009 housing crisis. So again, a period in time very specific to review. So good call. Erica, what would you pair?
I picked the movie Atonement, and that is with Keira Knightley and James McAvoy, and I believe a very, very, very young Saoirse Ronan. But this is like a period piece around misinformation, essentially, and how quickly things. I mean, there wasn't. No phones, obviously, during that time period. But how one letter gets misconstrued for something else and ends up ruining lives, and how people crash out and all kinds of things. But highly recommend this movie for anybody who hasn't seen it. Very good.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it
I
out.
haven't either.
I'll have to check
I've
it
heard
out.
of it though.
Atonement.
Michael, I think you would maybe be 50-50 on it. I actually think that Adrian would really like this movie.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I have a hard time with period pieces unless they fucking kick ass.
It's like, I believe it's like during the war.
Do period pieces. I like period. I like history.
I'm smart. I like history.
Yeah, I was good at history.
So I would actually pair this with a slightly older movie called Network, 1976, directed by Sidney Lumet. This is the first Sidney Lumet movie I watched. I watched this in film school back in those days when I went to film school, and it does again not just misinformation, but like the media and how the media provides misinformation or uses our angst against us, and that it is very systematic. It was very much like a mind-opening movie when I watched it in my early 20s. So Sidney Lumet, incredible director.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago. Anthony has really set the bar for our timetables here. But yeah, check out Network if you haven't seen it. It's an incredible movie, won Academy Awards. That would be my pick. But now we go to Erica's favorite part where we draft some stock. So let me pull up our wheel cinema and let's see who goes first. Woohoo! That's me. I'm going first, baby.
It never. It's so delayed when you do.
Going second.
I know. I don't ever see it.
Really? You guys aren't seeing this? Erica.
I mean, we see it, but it's already done by the time you say the name. It's still spinning on my side.
Okay, so I'm drafting first. Erica,
so do you have the list that says who's already been drafted off of this list?
Yeah.
I can pull that up. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think...
pull that up.
Like, is anybody off this board?
I'll tell you what. Let's draft who you want. It'll be easier to do it this way. We'll pick someone, and I'll let you know if they've been taken.
Okay.
That's going to be the easier
Touche.
way.
Okay.
I mean, listen, it may take some time before my stock goes up, but when it does go up, it will go up. So I'm going to take Ari Aster. I have to take Ari here. He is a director that thus far hasn't produced a miss. Like, every movie has been a hit. Different, some were home runs, some were grand slams, and maybe Beau is Afraid is a single double. But it still gets you on base, you know what I mean? So Ari Aster, locking him in, and I'm very happy I got to go first. And just for those of you at home, Erica thought she'd be smart and write on our doc, I hope you go last. That's karma, motherfucker, the theme of this goddamn movie. All right, Erica, with your pick, who would you like?
So, like I said, I'm hoping that she's not already drafted, but I am going to take Emma Stone from this one. I am always happy with her performance, even though I might not like the overall movie sometimes. But love Emma Stone. I think she's definitely gonna be somebody who we're gonna just see age very gracefully within Hollywood. So I'm gonna take Emma Stone.
Yeah, great pick. I'd say this is probably my least favorite performance that I've seen from her because she's not in it a lot and what she does is subtle. To your point, Adrian, like it's effective, like she does what she needs to do. I guess just, an Academy Award winner, you would expect maybe a little bit more screen time. But nonetheless, great pick. Adrian, are you gonna take?
Whoa. I
Lot
wanted
on
Emma
the board.
Stone.
You want Michael
Yeah,
Ward? You got Michael
there's
Ward
two
on the
now.
board.
Well, it would be Pedro or Joaquin, right? Those are the two we're looking at. So I was under the impression that like Joaquin Phoenix had some stuff outside, like I don't know, harassment or I don't know. I always feel like cancel culture age, everybody does something, somebody's reporting something, and I
The
don't know
closest
who's.
the closest thing I'm familiar with is he was signed up to play a role as a gay man and like had physical scenes in this movie and like just before production he bailed. So that's kind of a red flag. Like I mean, like that's tough.
I
Cancelable, I
wouldn't
don't
hold it
know.
against them.
Well,
Yeah, I wouldn't hold it against them.
we know your beliefs. Go on.
Yeah. I I like Pedro Pascal. I'm gonna go that way. I think
Pedro's gonna be in a lot of stuff coming up. He's just everyone loves him, so your
yeah.
stock's gonna go crazy with him.
I haven't even watched The Last of Us yet, and so just I want to see it. And once I do, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah,
his stock is way up.
outside of Game of Thrones, I think his first season specifically, I mean both. It's not his fault. Second season wasn't as good, but his performance is incredible in Last of Us. And bro, next week the stock might go up when we review Fantastic Four. Like he is hot right now. You're not excited about that? Is that what you're
I am
shaking
not
your head
excited about the Fantastic Four.
Wow,
I'm
incredible.
not
Wow.
excited at all. Like I
Well,
said, you haven't even seen the other two.
The history of Fantastic Four is just makes everybody nervous.
listen, right now everybody's wet for Pedro, so it's probably a good pick. It's probably a good pick there. All right, folks, Eddington, we all gave it a thumbs up. Check it out. Make sure to follow us, like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of our tribe at Seeing This Pod, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, all the things, YouTube, Apple Podcast, and
Spotify.
there we go. But yeah, make sure to do that. We have a lot of fun episodes coming out. If you haven't seen Clueless yet, we just did our 30th anniversary. Check it out. I'm going to be, Seeing This is going to be at the Toronto Film Festival as press. Holy shit. So make sure to follow us so you don't miss any of that coverage. It's going to be exciting. But until next time, stay safe. Peace.